How's it going, Radical Viewers? Grim Gay right back into some more Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition with this wonderful homebrew, the Esterisle's Cartography Guild, our 29th session. Y'all like that? Y'all like that new banner? Y'all like that? Yeah. God, it's amazing what happens when I actually have time to edit and actually work with my freaking crap, isn't it? Damn. Also, thank God I finally figured out why the hell the text was blurry in the last couple videos. Turns out it's because I am the dumb, and I forgot how to properly resize fonts in OBS Streamlabs, which is what I use to record this. Yeah. I am the dumb. I take full credit for my dumb. Sometimes I'm even proud of it, because sometimes dumbness is actually genius in disguise. Not very often and very rarely, but it does happen. It does in fact happen. I'm mostly gabbing because not all of us are in the Discord yet, and I'm feeling some energy. I went and stuffed myself just full of pizza. What kind of pizza, you may ask? I'm glad you asked. Let me go into the toppings of this beautiful pizza. It has some pepperoni on it, has some mushrooms on it, has some sausage, good old sausage, had olives. Like, it was a great pizza. Freaking local place out here does them, and they're amazing. Call it the hometown favorite by the actual hometown name that I'm not going to say because it's funny to make everyone guess what my hometown actually is. And Lord knows there's enough of a hint here and there where it's not hard to figure out. God knows I've probably damn near said it, if not outright said it a few times. Oh, lordy, lordy, loo, lordy, loo, lordy, lordy, loo. Why is no one in the Discord? I'm literally sitting here playing Idle Champions as I wait. It's one of those stupid, video games you don't actually play. It literally kind of just plays itself. But they'll gladly take your money for cosmetic stuff and a bunch of other BS. I really need to stop playing these games. I actually end up sinking money into them for some reason just because they have something cool I want. Freaking hate those. But at least it's not loot boxes. Loot boxes are the devil. Never ever, kids, throw your money at anything even remotely looking like a loot box. I go throw you here, throw you there. I don't think I got any other dwarves or anything for this particular setup as I wait for... Okay, I think we... Oops. I did not mean to... Well, maybe I did. I don't know. Okay, close that out. Let that play on the background. And let's go ahead and join the Discord, shall we?
Both, yes. Usually it's fine or dandy, but today it's fine and dandy.
Oh.
Well, shit, rub it in, why don't you?
Well, hot diggity damn.
I agree.
Howdy doody.
Howdy ho, kidderinos.
I don't like that one. I don't like that one at all.
We leveled up, right?
Does your sheet say 7?
No.
Then, yes, we did level
Well,
up.
then you did level up, but yeah.
Everyone else
I
did.
was
You
Yeah.
definitely should have.
Yeah, because I had to go to bed.
How dare you need sleep?
Like,
Nathaniel?
right, I should actually be going to bed right now for work. So let's do this 3 hours and a half session.
I forgot we leveled up. That's awesome. And now have...
Okay,
more
I gotta
AC.
level up too.
Oh,
God, you guys
really didn't level up.
are
I went-
unforgivable.
Listen, it's been forever and my memory is not the
Yeah.
best, so that just... It's bad results
Kale,
on
I
my end.
Absolutely.
It's
I finished.
Good
I
God.
finished the session. I took a melatonin and I went to bed. That's what happened last.
It's literally been so damn long, our wannabe Witcher became a dwarf.
I do remember that. There was a Russian midget that came around.
Russian midget, yes!
Are you just talking in the first person, Dennis?
I'm actually... I am not a midget. Thank you very much. I look down on the smaller folk.
Wow. Fucking... Alright.
Well, they deserve it, so it's fine.
We really shouldn't be talking about Tyler this way.
I wasn't gonna make the joke, buddy.
Ooh.
Hey, Tyler,
Yeah.
I think you're just tall enough, buddy.
Oh, good.
I think
I'm glad. since you
I didn't even know if Tyler was there, and that
Yeah.
was great timing.
absolutely.
Oh, because you just looked above him. Haha, so funny.
I sent you a message, Michael. I'm having, I guess, difficulties with my sheet apparently.
It should be done now. I'm basically, I mean, I'm the wizard now, is what
Thank
I'm
you.
saying.
You are a lizard,
Okay.
Harry.
Jonathan is so fucking loud
He is very
when
loud.
he's muted.
I wouldn't know. I do not have Jonathan unmuted ever because YouTube is a pain in the dick with fucking that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
I like it. Anyway, if we are all here, we can like play a game or some shit.
Play a
No.
game? What madness is this?
Is that what we do here?
Nah.
I am running slightly behind, so I don't have access to my sheet, but I'm willing to play games.
Yeah, I mean you're fine. I'm not expecting this to be super dice heavy today for some reason. In any case, last time, I was like, I panicked for a second because I thought I was muted, but that doesn't make any sense because you're listening to me. Last time, having just found the long-lost North Star Concerto on an island somewhere in the Eastern Sea, you began searching for survivors, and despite multiple monstrous encounters, you managed to find the one halfling man by the name of Milo Thorngage. After a brief trip to the site of a magical meteor's impact to collect samples, you managed to make it back to your ship and sail away before anyone else fell to the island. When you got home, Cassius informed you that he was already in the process of expanding the guild roster with the promise of 3 new crews to be added in the coming weeks. You all agreed to take one such recruit with you for a time, a dwarven man by the name of Jorn. Meanwhile, Lambert received word via Cassius of a discovery that an unnamed individual that looked very similar to himself, that there was found a school similar to the one he had been trained in, and the one you found in your travels. This one located beneath the waves of Vale. Now, as he is off searching for meaning behind this new school, and as you guys begin to work with Jorn for the first time, what are we doing?
We're supposed to eat dinner with Elrond.
Yes. So right now it is, if I'm not mistaken, the 34th of Dawn's Slumber, and you guys have a dinner date for the 4th of Snow's Fall, which is next week. Essentially, it's Wednesday today, and your dinner is on Monday.
It's
So-
Friday.
Shut up! It's Wednesday. I don't.
It's always Wednesday.
I don't do this joke. Just on a few notes I have. I know that Gwydion was planning on casting Remove Curse.
Oh fuck. Yes.
Oh, right, that was a thing. Wow.
Remember, you have a cursed paladin.
No, I remember the cursed paladin. I forgot that we actually had all discovered that he was cursed and therefore decided to elect to try to remove said curse.
My paladin's still cursed.
Because what could go
I've
wrong
already
with
got
that?
it. I've already got it on my sheet.
Yeah.
It's up to Matthew if he updated his gold.
I have not. How much does it cost?
I'll do it
Good
for
question. Hold on. 200, 350,
you. 350, huh?
350.
He happily pays that. Oh God, I have to do math.
Not
I
math.
got my sheet. I'll
Not
do
in
that
Dungeons
myself.
and Dragons.
I got it. Don't you worry. I can do math. No. Oh, you have no more money. You're out of money. You ran out. I promise. I would never lie to you.
Well,
I gotcha.
when that is done and the spell is written down in his spell book, and then he prepares it the next day, Gwydion will find a time to meet up with Q. He'll take his fancy new star staff that Q helped him make. He's just gonna like press it up against his chest, and it's gonna start glowing. Like the blue crystal and like all the arcane etchings on the staff are gonna start glowing bright blue. I'm gonna cast Remove Curse, the first spell I will cast from this staff.
All right. As like, you touch the stone up against the spot on his chest where you feel that the curse is centralized, and you do see like a little star beginning to like expand slightly, essentially inside that mark. And as like you're sending that arcane energy into was essentially like a wound to his soul, you find this strong resistance against the spell. You attempt to fight through it, but it seems to be stronger than just what this spell is capable of. However, you do learn a few things in casting it. As like, just keeping track of like what kind of resistances, and like especially with your innate abilities to like kind of identify and detect magic, you just kind of like work through it, and you learn a little bit about how it operates and also how to remove it fully. First things first, this curse seems to not necessarily originate from Q's body.
What?
You, like, as you were casting it, like, it seems that the only way to actually break this curse is to destroy an item that has trapped a portion of Q's soul in it. It seems that without the soul being restored, it is impossible to lift this curse. Somewhat disheartened by this revelation, you sort of like get this feeling of just sore-heartedness that you remember feeling before. Just a single image flashes in your mind. You looking over an old woman who you recognize as your wife, casting the spell before.
Well, that didn't work, so much for this spell. Maybe I'll ask for a refund.
It really should have worked. That's what it was described as, a remove curse.
Well, I didn't remove it, but I figured out how to from casting it. It looks like someone took a bit of your soul and put it in an item. Don't panic. We just have to find the item that houses that soul bit and destroy it. However, that's possible.
Where did you get this spell from?
I got it from Falsander. I get all my spells from him. He hasn't let me down so far.
Falsander, this is false advertising. It should have worked.
False advertising.
Well, it might have to do with the fact that the curse isn't coming from this spot here. It's just an effect of a curse that is located elsewhere.
You get the feeling specifically that the curse is embedded inside the portion of the soul that is missing.
Do you know who did this to you? Like, what happens before you got this spot?
I suppose it's been there for some time. I remember vaguely my wife and I dealing with it. But details are hazy.
Okay, well, let me know if you come up with anything, because I might have a method of locating the person who did this to you, if you can remember. Otherwise, it's going to take some time.
I don't think that she'll be of use, not use, of help to us. We won't be able to speak with her.
Who, your wife?
Right.
Right. Not quite sure what to do about this at the moment. I'm sorry this didn't work.
It's not your fault. You were led astray by this false sender. Perhaps we should look for a new spell guy.
I wouldn't worry about that. His track record's been pretty alright so far. Just one bad spell. I'll figure it out. I'll figure something out. Don't worry. Eventually. I'm very out of it right now.
Frustrating, to say the least, and I've made a lot of items, Gwydion. I don't know which one it would be in.
Yeah.
You might say I put my soul into everything I make.
Well,
Voldemort!
that is a problem. Do you ever, like, write down the things that you make, like a catalog or like a record of any sort?
Oh, well, of course. I have a ledger of everything I've made, the length of time I've taken to make it, and the cost of the item, and the cost of the materials, and who I got them from, and...
Well, that would be useful to look at then. Maybe we can retrace our steps and narrow it down.
Let's see, looking... He, like, pulls out a journal, looking sort of thing, ledger. It's got, like, receipts and stuff. It's not, like, the most organized in it. It looks to be 1607 entry.
Oh, goodness.
I'm not sure where to start, or what to even do.
We can both look over it if need be. I've got an eye for detail.
Well, perhaps we could start with the latest items I've
Yes,
thrown together.
working backwards would be well and good.
I have these two armors I've made from the creatures we slain at the islands we were just from.
Well, it's not either of those.
Okay, well that's good. I need to get these to Sen and to fuck it. What is his name? I'm forgetting his name. Wow, that's flustered.
Whose name?
Our spooky fellow.
That narrows it down.
What?
Spooky fellow. Klaus?
Yeah, that's
And Heinrich.
Yes.
Oh, Klaus.
No,
Nice.
Heinrich. No, I have something for Klaus as well, but for Heinrich too.
Okay. I don't think I would hope Heinrich didn't do this to you.
Be funny if it was, though.
Am I here for this?
I think it was just us two. Unless you can overhear it, I wouldn't. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just reading my book, probably leveling up.
Yeah, I get the sense we might have done this in the
It's a secret. Well, not a secret, but it's a private moment. Q's very vulnerable right now.
it depending on how long it takes. I imagine that like while everyone was eating breakfast, you guys met up and then like went up to Q's room or something.
Yeah. Keep working on that ledger, combing through it, and let me know if you come up with anything.
Certainly do that. I could have taken better notes about things. Some of these details are vague. This one just says, man with a cape and a mustache.
You didn't get his name.
Didn't seem to write it down. And this other one says, guy with the glinty shield and the helmet. Oh, what have I done?
That's
It
his
was no
problem.
just a skeleton grenade.
Literally, it went from finding a needle in a haystack to finding a needle in a haystack that's literally just needles.
So a needle?
This one says it's a sword named Needle. Who wrote this journal? I am so frustrated at past me. I left all this work for future me.
Well, better than no notes at all, I suppose.
Q just starts pouring into it and like scribbling and scratching things out and scratching his head.
All right. Actually, make me an investigation check.
Who?
Legion, make me an investigation check.
Yeah, you're right.
Make me
That's
do
really
an
funny.
investigation check, Legion.
Look.
Hey, you
Oh,
rolled an
shit,
18.
you rolled an 18. You
I
pour
got
through your
those.
notes and... Oh, hold on, let me see if I remember this correctly. I believe you were working on something specifically before this happened.
He was, but I don't want to go back into the old footage archives and try to find that moment.
I have all my notes, so it should be relatively easy. Oh, you know what?
That
I
moment.
hope your notes are better than Q's.
I think I slightly didn't take this just for this purpose. 'Cause
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, you specifically didn't remember it happening, I believe.
Yeah.
Or like, you vaguely remember, but, like, you literally, like, woke up and you realized it just never happened, like, you were just sleeping. Or something. Yeah, I mean, there's this weird gap in your memory in between working on the double penetrator and something else, and like you never like there's this small gap there where like you remember tinkering with something, but then it just eludes you, and like the notes just go on to like a completely separate thing. So you get the feeling this has probably been a month and a half or so now since it's happened, but it seems to be very odd that it would be missing from the notes if you had worked on something.
Right. Great. I'm not worried. Not at all.
In the meantime, we do have a few days before dinner with Elrin. I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 days or so, 6 days. Well, I guess it's tomorrow, so it'd be 5 days.
Well, I would like to find an enchanter somewhere who's not Merlin.
Okay. I mean that's relatively easy to do. Let me get back to you on that specific thing because I want to like do a little bit more research.
Go ahead. I will allow it.
Oh, he'll allow it. Hear that, guys? Um, but there are quite a number of days if you guys want to, have some downtime or whatever. If not, we can fast forward a bit.
I've done my thing.
You know
Yeah,
what?
I mean,
I would take a fight. Why not? Give you some downtime.
All right, that works. So you head over to the Iron Tankard, as you usually do, and you manage to catch a fight or two while you're there. Eventually, the door opens, and through it walks a familiar tiefling woman, Jen. As she walks through the door, you notice she has a concerned look on her face. Just sort of like looks around the room before she eventually sets eyes on you, and you just watch her just a sigh of relief. Lucian, I was hoping I would find you here.
You look a little worried, or you were, anyways.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Star.
You get the feeling that she came approaching something else, but at the mention of his name, she visibly gets angry and slaps you across the face.
Maybe I deserve that.
Asshole. How could...
Listen, you saw what he did to my friend. He had a...
Like, yes, what he did was wrong, but this level of retaliation... Do you know that Minotaurs have a very ritualistic culture? Their horns are a symbol of their pride as a warrior. I've never seen him like this. He won't even leave the ship.
Oh, I thought he would be more enraged at me than this did not accomplish what I wanted it to. My bad.
Look, I didn't come to get mad at you. I would say you should apologize, but I feel like we both know what would happen if he saw you.
Yeah.
Look, the truth is, I just wanted to talk. Sometimes it's hard to talk to the crew. You know, Pim just wants to drink. Kreck's adorable, but he's an idiot. I'm worried about Talvin. He's been spending a lot of time with Rain recently, and he's just been acting very strange.
Strange how so?
It's nothing too obvious. I don't think anyone else has noticed, really, but they seem to be keeping to themselves for the most part. Away from the rest of the crew, at least. Rain keeps speaking cryptically to him, and Talvin just kind of... He seems so fixated on something.
No, that's... Keeping to oneself is one thing, but I've met Talvin. That's very strange.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any information to go on. I'm just worried about him, is all. I guess I just wanted to talk about it. I can't really do that with the crew as it is.
Right, of course. Well, tell you what, if you think it might be magical, I'll at least talk to Elrin Desir about it. have dinner with him in a few days.
I don't know who that is.
Wizard person of high repute.
I'm not sure if it's magic. It's just it's behavioral. I don't know. Maybe I should just. Rain's kind of a quiet sort. I probably should be happy that they've managed to strike up a friendship. Look, Lucian, thanks for listening. I think I gotta go for a walk. Listen, this stays between us, all right?
Of course, I would never tell a soul.
And don't think I've forgiven you for what you did to Brosdar. You men and your rivalries, I swear. It's like you never left the arena sometimes.
I don't know what to say. What I did was wrong. I did not realize the weight of my action.
Idiot. And she just punches you on the shoulder. Look, I'm not saying you have to like him, just... You two keep going out like this, you're both gonna end up dead.
I see what he did to Garthak, so you're probably right. Take care.
She, walks off, out past the door. That's hilarious.
I knew what I was doing.
I got a thing that just happened. I got sent a message that I liked a lot. In any case, you said you wanted to have a fight.
Yeah, beat the shit out of someone.
I should fight you.
Yeah. I'd probably lose.
Fuck.
What? It's athletics, constitution, and attack roll?
Yeah, I think...
What the fuck?
You're so bad at this.
I don't know.
Wow, that's pretty atrocious.
Yeah, you just, you failed. Yeah, he just beat the shit out of you. You're an 8th level fucking pugilist, and every single person in this bar is at least 12th level.
8th level?
8th level? Oh,
7th?
7th level. Look,
I was
I'm
about
in
to say, how far behind was I?
Yeah, I'm about to say, now I felt behind.
We were
Easy.
supposed to keep that level between us.
Shut up! You can't. You're not allowed to talk to me anymore. None of you.
That sounds familiar.
Uh,
That sounds like
You
my
wouldn't
Nick
last
fit.
a week without us.
As for you, Sen, I got your messages. What you want is actually not as expensive as you would have expected.
Okay.
It'll take about a week to finish,
Okay.
and it'll cost you somewhere around 500 gold.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing. How about these? What kind of checks?
Oh yeah, everything you need is here. The guild hall. You have like your own.
Yep.
I mean, like, this is why the staff of the guild hall exists, is to give you
No, but
somewhere to shop.
specifically, I want to do it myself.
Oh, I mean, I guess you could talk to. Fuck, what's his name? No one has spoken to him since the first session.
Because we've never needed to.
I mean, that's fair.
Whose name? Hold on. Whose name? I gotta. Whose name?
I mean, guess.
Is it the fucking potion dude?
No, it's not the. It's
I don't need potions.
Grayther. Grayther.
Oh, you just gave me the name. Okay.
Pete.
Oh, Pete.
Pete, he's called.
Peter.
Oh, the blacksmith.
Yeah. I mean, that's relatively easy. You don't know what you're doing per se, but he'll help you out in at least teaching you what to do. And you've watched Q work enough as is. I would say just make me a straight intelligence check. All right, yeah. It takes you the better part of a day to do that part of it, and the enchantment process will take about a week-ish, 6 days, let's say, So in about a week, you will have this particular item.
I'm very excited.
I'm also. It's really good. I like it a lot. Does anyone else have anything specific that they would like to do before we have dinner?
Yes.
Yes.
So, having been, receiving some power-ups from my patron, I've been told that I need to buy specific items, so I want to go to a store. Small item, nothing major.
Yeah. Anything in particular?
A piece of a tentacle or a squid.
Gross.
Yeah?
Yum.
That, I would feel, being this is a port town, be very easy to find. I'm pretty sure you can almost ask anybody to get that.
Calamari.
Yeah, but that's what I need. I don't know.
That was weirdly specific, though.
3 copper.
3 copper. Is this good quality? I don't want the cheapest stuff.
All right, 5 copper. What do you want from me?
Thank you.
it's a squid.
Shut up and
tentacle.
take my coin!
As someone who's bought tentacles,
I don't think I've bought anything else with Klaus yet, so I need to spend something. And this is a spell component.
You now have 1 fucking squid tentacle, and in like 2 weeks, it will be gross.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's already
Shit.
kind of gross.
you need a bag of
Put
coal.
it in a jar of vinegar.
I also need... vinegar. Yeah, that would be better than salt.
Fucking put it in a brine.
Yum.
I mean, it doesn't specify it has to be fresh.
Pickled
It just
squid
says
tentacle.
it just says a piece of tentacle from an octopus or squid. It doesn't say it has to be fresh, recent, vinegar.
No, it
Pickled.
absolutely does not. So, I mean, it can be gross as you want, but
It's already a little gross.
Well, it can't be like decomposing because then it's not a squid tentacle anymore.
oh, after a certain point, but like, for a while.
I don't think this was as intended.
Absolutely not, but it's what we're doing now.
Dennis, just buy a bag of colding, and then we can
Another-
also sell ice to people.
Let's just say another 5 copper, and you're able to get like a jar full of like vinegar to like, stash it in, so it doesn't just like.
I am happy with that idea, but what the hell is a bag of colding? Is that real?
No, that's a thing. That's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a
It's-
thing.
It's a bag of holding, except it's just
There is-
cold.
It does not exist in the DMG. I'm sorry.
Oh my
Bag of
god, it
holding.
fucking exists.
Bag of holdings are a thing. I know this.
I'm about to say, I've seen them.
They're not official.
They're from Critical Role, and
Oh.
not from the DMG.
That's basically DMG 2.0. Let's.
I'm
be real.
not. I'm not saying they don't like. I'm not saying that you won't be able to get that particular enchantment or whatever. Probably something more along the lines of a bag of holding with a constant gentle repose effect or something. But if we're talking about real life items that exist in real life, no.
Oh, that blows
get
my...
out
I
of
had
here.
no idea that was actually from Critical Role. That actually blows my mind. Fuck my DMs. My other
Okay,
DMs.
so 10
I
copper
mean-
for a jar of vinegar and a tentacle of a squid. Got it. Giant squid. This should be fun.
Jeez Christ. Oh god, it's been too long, and I hate coming back. So is that everybody until dinner?
I got my dinner.
Ew.
All right, you have your dinner.
Wait, how much copper is per 1 gold? 100?
Yeah, 10?
Yeah, I think you spent like 1 silver. So
So it's what, 10 silver, 1 gold, or 100?
Just
If I remember, it's 10.
It's 10 silver to a gold.
10, 10, 10. Except Electrum, but we don't use Electrum because fuck Electrum.
Fuck Electrum.
Electrum's bullshit.
I've never seen anybody use that.
I
Like,
ran through an
Platinum
entire
barely usable.
I went through a campaign where it was almost nothing but Electrum. It drove me nuts.
Well, if it was only Electrum, I almost feel like that would be okay. You know what I mean? Like, just because nothing else exists, but like, fuck that. I don't want to deal with...
No, it's just a constantly pound Electrum, but everyone took gold. Everyone refused Electrum.
What the...
Yeah, it was stupid. Like, I think it was just the DM being a dick.
Sounds like it.
I've got stuff if nobody else does.
It sounds like you have stuff.
How common is a caterpillar cocoon?
Yeah, depends. You know, a ranger and or druid.
Laughs and Bard.
What? Do I need a ranger or a druid?
No, do you know a ranger and or druid? Because if so, you're hunting for that shit on your own. Good luck.
Aren't we in a port town? I'm sure there's somebody who knows a bard,
Sure.
mage, or... Wow, that's not the classes at all that you said.
A bard or a mage. Like, wow, yeah, I'm pretty sure someone does. Hell, in fact, I think I know a few. I just met them.
I think I saw a warlock right down the street.
I don't know what you're talking about. But, yeah, I'll just buy one of those two. If
Alright.
they're available somewhere in this.
What specifically again? I got lost in thought about druids.
I forgot.
A caterpillar cocoon.
I no longer feel
Caterpillar.
bad.
Caterpillar cocoon.
Ah, shit. I don't know. Like, fucking...
Spell component, maybe? Offhandedly?
Yeah, let's say 1 silver just because it's hard to come across.
Depending on the season.
You got it.
It's winter.
I don't think they expire, so that should be good in my pocket.
I mean, it's
Everything
organic here.
expires.
Everything
Except-
expires.
Except honey.
Honey.
No, honey lasts fucking forever.
Not in my jar of pickles. Okay.
Typical
Cute.
honey.
Oh, right. You have items to distribute, don't you?
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Please take it away.
So at some point, Q would find Sen. What do you think Sen would be up to, Nathan?
Funny enough, she'll be trying to hide from you.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, okay, so let's roll that stealth, let's roll that perception, see what happens, just for shits and giggles, I guess.
Okay, I guess that's what we're doing, according to DM Gaddy.
You're welcome.
I mean,
I only said it because he's already rolled the stealth. And because watching you roll perception is always good for a laugh.
No, for some reason, the next couple days, like, she is fucking nowhere, man. However, day or two, you're like, you know, you're walking down to breakfast and like you see her there and you're just like, fuck, I've been trying to find you.
Sen, hold up a moment. I've been looking for you everywhere. I have something to give you.
oh, how funny. Yeah, because I've been exactly nowhere.
That's fortunate that I found you then. Now you're here, and you're no longer lost.
She's just looking at you.
Right, well, I made something for you. I assume it will fit, because... yeah. You know
Should
that
I be
creature... What?
Should I be worried?
No, this is protective. That creature that we killed on the island, we salvaged its scales and fur. It was a little staticky and had claws. I had to give it a name, be like vulgar tail. Right. Well, I made some armor out of it for you.
Oh, that's very thoughtful of you.
And you don't like people getting close to you, so I put secret barbs in it. They're facing backwards, so that you won't hurt yourself. And well, apparently the fur has a bit of a charge, so watch if you're ever walking on carpets with socks. Just watch out. But
It's carpet.
Woven soft wool under your feet. I think Elrin had some in his home.
You're probably standing on one presently.
Carpet is a modern invention.
Fuck you. It's not. Not anymore.
Rugs are ancient, but carpet's modern.
Okay, fine. It's a rug.
Ass.
You know, when you rub two sheep together, your hair sticks up.
Is that what you do for fun back
Alright,
home?
guys.
Hey, Aurora!
Hi.
I
love the sheep.
You know, when you do sheeps together, everyone, I mean, come on, when you do that,
I've heard
John has done this!
I've heard of
we all do.
I've heard of country folk tipping cows, which seems rather cruel, but I've never heard of anybody rubbing sheep. I guess that's less cruel.
Besides the point, I made this armor. It's got a it's studded armor, so there's some studs in it, but most of them are more like scales from this creature. So like the pointed bits of the scales that kind of poke out. And it had fur on it, right? So a lot of it's like kind of furred around the collar. So it's probably a bit warm for this climate, but Q didn't really think of that. He likes being warm. But like underneath the collar is where like those little barbs would be at, like kind of pointed backwards. And Legion gave me stats for it.
Oh my god. Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
Oh, well, thank you, Taro. I love this.
I'm happy you like it. I spent some time with it trying to get the spikes right. I really didn't want them to hurt you, but wanted to give you accentuate your prickliness and to make sure that, you know, if somebody comes behind you to give you a hug or something and you didn't want that, they would not do it again.
Well, that's very kind of you. I'll try it on now.
I'm not here. Don't be. Just go somewhere else. And...
That was the plan.
Oh God, I'm sure everyone appreciates that.
Oh, okay. She's gonna go change and then come back.
You find that it's a little bit. It's not quite your size, but you're a changeling, and it's your size now.
Is it slightly big or slightly small?
You're a changeling, it doesn't matter.
It's both. Okay, thank you. I adjust my proportions.
That was a joke, but it worked, so why not? It is a little warm, but it's around wintertime, so I mean, you know, it's not. You'll be fine. Just don't go in any deserts.
No, this is good for my anemia.
Right. Have you seen Heinrich? Speaking of blood,
I have.
What blood?
Say that,
what do I do with that?
As you say that, Heinrich is like walking in with like this severed fucking squid tentacle.
Jar.
Oh, Heinrich, what have you got there?
Oh, you won't believe it. So, I go to sleep, yeah, and I get this dream that I should invest in the pickles. No, fuck, in the tentacle. What the fuck's wrong with me?
I have a jar of
I think you're having a stroke, Dennis.
It's been a long week. Invest in the tentacles, but I had trouble keeping them preserved, so now they're in this jar, and I can do very dark things with them. What have you been up to?
Nothing that exciting, I think.
That's dark things with the tentacles. That seems fine.
You're a Sakidoji.
Leo, Sen and I were just talking about the armor that I made for her, and I have a set for you as well, Heinrich, and some for Hans as well.
Oh, well, thank you. And Hans just comes out like from under my cloak or whatever. I mean, he doesn't really need armor. He's a familiar. If he goes kaput, I just resummon him. But I guess the gesture is very thankful.
Yes, it's just a small helmet. I had some leftover crystals that I hollowed out, and I didn't know where the eyes were exactly, so it's more of like a big visor for them.
So, like, a little hat.
You broke it. It's so great. Yes, it's a hat made of crystal. It should offer some protection if he does get hit in the head.
I mean, he's tiny, but that will be...
Add +1 AC to your mouse. It has an AC of 2.
Double that.
This tea needs to be stronger.
Oh god, I should
Tell people about this at all.
That was for.
But Heinrich, I have something for you as well. It's hopefully more protective than little Hans's helmet. That drake, that larger crystalline beast. We got the skins from that as well. Lambert was very helpful with that, and it'll be nice having him around if we keep finding creatures like this. But I fashioned it out of armor, or I fashioned armor out of it, and through the process, I used some of the water that we found at the meteorite, and it appears to have some sort of effect. And the armor is kind of like a purplish blue that kind of like starts like very light in the center and then goes out to be dark. And each of the limbs on this, they're fashioned to look like spider limbs. So like each arm has like a buckle in the center where the armor like kind of comes together to make it look like there's two limbs that are just pressed together. And it's just studded with crystals all over it. And that one did come with something cool.
Ooh.
Oh fuck.
So that the crystal wind armor.
This is cool.
Apparently, that water is fucking magic.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Really? Is fucking magic.
It's fucking magic,
Whoa.
dude.
Fucking magic, dude.
Wow, this unexpected. I am at a loss for words. I feel like I should give you something back, but I don't seem to have any chalk with me to give you.
It's okay, Heinrich. That feeling of needing to all of my stomach issues has gone. This is just welcome to the team. I'm trying to find something to give you, and this seems to be. Don't worry about it. I'm not asking for anything in return. I greatly enjoyed creating it. It was a good challenge.
Well, thank you very much. I hope I don't let you down like my predecessor. Will wear this armor with pride.
I hope you don't as well. That was quite disappointing to find out that Liliana was a treacherous bitch, but it seems that things have gone better now.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Hey, he's been cursed. He's corrupted.
He's corrupted.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Oh, I'm going to rest a bit. This is taking a bit out of me.
Talking or the forging?
The forging. These are materials I'm not used to. I had to work harder than using metals, strangely.
Well, thank you. Go have rest. I shall put this armor and walk around town, showing off my tentacles and my armor. And little Hans's helmet. Thank you.
Yes, I'm quite proud of the helmets. Let me know if that works out. We might be able to do more.
Inevitably, whenever Dennis's third character pops up, I'm going to have to throw another insect at you so you can make an insect set of armor for them as well.
Yay.
They all meet together and, like Power Rangers, just make them into. Oh, that's terrifying. Okay.
Did we have anything else?
I don't believe.
All right. I don't believe so either. In that case, a few days pass. You guys find some nice, comfortable rest here at the guild hall. Going about your own individual bonuses. Or not, what the fuck am I talking about? Anyway, look. So on Monday night, you go to the familiar home of Elrin the Seer. They're on Baron Street and use the demon-faced knocker on the door. However, unlike every other time, when the door opens, you find not an invisible force on the other end, but instead, Elrin himself. Friends, it is a pleasure to see you all again. I trust you all ready for dinner.
Oh, yes, of course.
Hello.
John only agreed to come because someone promised food for free.
Oh, I see.
You remember?
We have not met.
Yes, hello, my name is Bjorn Stormbringer. As you may see, I am tallest dwarf in all isles.
Sure. Well,
Can we eat
I
now?
suppose I don't
Someone is
consider
hungry.
anyone a friend until I've had dinner with them. And a friend of yours is always welcome at my table. Very good. Now, please, join hands. After everyone's, joined up, he, walks outside, shuts the door and locks it from the outside, puts the key in his pocket, and once everyone, is kind of joined up, just this wave of fire engulfs all of you, starting from Elrin and working out to the person farthest from.
Oh, yeah.
In that brief moment, that heat washes over you, and you find yourself not outside of Elrin's home, but instead an unfamiliar dining hall. Well, what do you think of my new home?
Is it
now,
beautiful?
I have a little bit of blurb. Truth be told, it is nicer than his home on Barron Street. Larger, in any case. And even the woodwork is a lot more ornate. A fireplace on the far end, and at the table, presently 8 chairs that are sat in front of an already set table with a cloche. Is that pronounced? Cloche? Is that what that's called?
Can you spell it out?
Cloche. It's the.
I'm great at pronouncing things.
In any case,
that's how you pronounce it in French, and it's the French
clock.
word for battle.
Yeah. So at every table, at every seat at the table, there's a clock.
And a load-in.
Son of a bitch.
And a load-in.
I hate you. Please sit. The night is young, but surely there's much to talk about. I went with a simpler dinner than usual, using only what I have here on the island. Our first dish is a simple baked potato with cow's butter, green onion, and sour cream.
There are cows here.
I made the butter.
Ah.
It counts.
Of course it counts.
What did you do with cow in order to make butter?
We'll fight.
In any case, you go to sit down and suddenly the cloches just come up on their own. Jordan, this is very strange for you because things have just been opening on their own recently, since you've met this man. As you guys are like beginning to take your first bites, first off, it's a fucking baked potato.
Obviously.
It's great. It's great.
It's amazing.
Like, you can't go wrong.
The perfect food.
It's literally why God made food.
For me, that's fried chicken.
Damn.
It's got all the essentials. Starch.
Yeah, baked and potato
And butter.
and onion. I just like onions. a
Oh
lot.
god, yeah, green onions good.
Elrin takes that first bite and just savors it a minute. Takes a deep breath. I don't mean to start off our dinner conversation on a somber note. But I feel it's important to address the elephant in the room first. Will is still unconscious. I believe his psionics left unchecked had formed a new ego within him. And presently his body is unable to determine which it belongs to.
That is a theory that I believe some of us had mentioned before. Yes?
I believe you have made mention of something very similar.
That or mind control, but I would prefer the former.
It definitely does seem to be that way to me, at least. There is little I can do with any certainty, however. I have an idea that could bear fruit. I have designed a magic to allow the two to combat each other more directly within his mind. However, in the end, what will emerge from our friend could be himself, the sculptor, or someone in between.
Well, that definitely seems like something you would want to mitigate the risk as much as possible. It's quite a hefty chance to take.
It is an unfortunate circumstance indeed. I do believe it better than leaving him stuck in between in perpetuity.
Yes.
But I believe I might be able to weigh it more in Will's favor given my familiarity with him. And my talent with transmutation might come in handy. But I am also looking into other ideas. A lot of research.
Understandable. Well, if you, well, it might be forthcoming for me to offer my aid, considering the magical prowess is much higher than mine, but if you do need any assistance...
I find when it comes to magical prowess, that specialization is more important than general knowledge. You probably know things I definitely do not, and vice versa. Don't get yourself down.
Like how to recreate the smell of honey perfectly.
I'm glad someone remembered that, because I put so much effort into coming up with those class names.
That is something that I did waste half of a year learning, yes. Well,
It wasn't so much classes as it was individual lectures and like personal study. But like that is quite the lecture.
Well, be that as it may, of course, there are still some things that I have been meaning to ask you as a transmutation wizard.
Is that so?
Yes, I don't know if now is the time to bring it up. I don't want to steer the conversation to be about me, necessarily. So, if you still have more to say about Will, or, you know, anything else to say to catch up, we can...
Well, in regards to Will, further research is definitely required. Before I perform any sort of ritual, I will attempt to research further, just so I know more or less what I'm getting into. I'll keep you updated, but if you have any questions, I would love to speak to you about the esoterics with you, as it were.
Well, as it happens, I have recently stumbled across quite the esoteric in regards to myself. This isn't something I thought would be brought up over the appetizer, but I might need your help with something quite dire, as it were. I haven't told anyone in this group this, but my friend, I guess sort of like a teacher, I guess, Falsander, has been helping me with something. You see, this is difficult to explain. When I was a youth, I guess I'm still a youth, but you know, when I was an adolescent, I started having these dreams, just about random things. They seemed very real, though, and I would come to discover that when I got into higher education, that the things I was dreaming about were real things that actually happened in history, but I had never heard of them beforehand. They were prophetic, but in reverse. And so I started studying history. It's where I got my passion for it, and I have, for the longest time, been trying to figure out why I'm having these dreams, and they've been more and more prevalent when I started adventuring. Sometimes, you've probably seen this, sometimes I zone out when something happens. That's me reliving something again, always uncovering new information. And they always follow a theme of some sorts. Like, I dream about the same people in the same places. Sometimes they're events that are next to each other. And I asked my friend Falsander about this, and he said this could be the results of a spell called Reincarnation, which, when you die, puts your soul into the next born body.
I am
when you hit...
familiar with the spell, yes.
Yes, and when you get to a certain age, memories from your past life start coming back. Normally this only happens with one life, but for me, I'm remembering about 9 different people that I am.
Well, that does seem to be a little more than a coincidence.
Yes, and I researched it, and it is a transmutation spell, so I wasn't sure if you knew...
As I said, I am familiar with the spell. I am technically able to cast it. It does seem... Well, of these past lives, well, I suppose once dead, you can't very well cast it on yourself.
That's what I was thinking, right? Is someone doing this to me? I don't know.
That is rather strange.
Additionally, in these dreams, I am always a wizard. And
Always?
every time. And I've been, as far as I can tell, I've been every single school in the book. I've cast every type of spell. I've had every kind of specialization, except illusion, which is what I am now. I don't know if I fell into that on purpose, or it's like, I'm not sure.
Gwydion, have you tried to cast a remove curse spell on yourself? I'm unsure how effective it actually is, but we recently came upon the means to do so.
I could try that, but it isn't really, well, I don't know if it's a curse. I don't really know what it means at all, as I was hoping Elrond could help. I mean, I'm not saying you have to, but if you have any information, it'd be nice to figure out what I am, as it were.
It might be worth a try. I would be curious to see the result.
I still have it prepared. Gwydion, holds out his staff, which I haven't described in good detail, but, basically, it's like a black rod, jet black with a bunch of glowing blue glyphs on it, like magical glyphs that, that make spells out of, just, etched across it like a web pattern. And then the crystal floating on top is, it's got 8 different points that kind of expand and contract outwards in the shape of an 8-pointed star, just slowly.
So you cast the spell?
Sure. He'll clink the staff on the ground and the star will start expanding and contracting a little bit faster and glowing.
All right.
He'll cast remove curse on himself.
It's a good thing I wrote notes 3 sessions in advance. More than that, probably. Because I had this in mind. You feel the flowing of magic within your body. The feeling you believe you felt the other way around. But being both in control of it and feeling it kind of pulse through you is strange. You feel something welling up from inside of you, something present in memory, but you never thought twice about it. Something there's this presence within you seems to just grow in your chest almost painfully. And then suddenly you feel it pulse throughout your body. Everyone. You guys watch Gwydion's eyes glow this vibrant blue light and suddenly is pushed back from his chair, toppling over backwards and just against the wall. You see in the center of his forehead a symbol. Ow. Hold on, let me find the symbol because this is notes for a session that hasn't happened yet that I'm reading, so I made here.
Well, Gwydion, does it seem that it's worked? You've gotten more of a reaction out of this spell than I did.
So it's a symbol of what looks to be an open tome with 2 wands crossed behind and an arcane sigil behind all of that. Gwydion.
It was 8 lives. I just remembered 8 lives. I was getting some things mixed up. I'm the ninth one.
As you're being pushed back, you see, like, your eyes flash white, and in the distance, you see this woman, seemingly dressed in long blue robes that drag behind her. You can't quite see her face. This light is like erupting behind her, leaving her in mostly silhouette, but with some edge light, and you can see this relatively tall, gaunt form. And you see these eyes that pulse with this sort of divine energy, just like this blue fire that just erupts and like kind of trails out. But it's just a flash. Elrin kind of like gets up from his chair and walks over to you. Right. He like takes a look at you and just like almost studying you.
That was unpleasant. I saw a woman briefly, I think. The figure of one. Blue robes, glowing blue eyes like fire, tall and gaunt. I couldn't make out much detail.
Hey Q.
Yo.
Mind making me a religion check?
Yeah.
Actually, Jordan could as well if he's proficient.
Am I?
No.
I am not.
Okay.
Elron, I must say, this is the best aperitif I've had in years.
I can roll for shits and giggles, but
At this point, Gwydion, you feel like those same, like you feel like a set of like a couple sets of invisible hands, sort of like grab at you and start pulling you up and like getting you back on your feet.
Whoa.
You aren't hurt, are you?
No, just taken aback.
Well, I'll admit that was rather unexpected.
Life has been full of surprises recently.
I suppose so. And like you see this smile on his face. It's around this time that from the door leading to the kitchen comes a few more cloches that like get brought out to each of your seats. Oh, I suppose it's time for the next course already. If you're available to speak further on this, perhaps tomorrow, I would very much like to assist.
I would like to get to the bottom of this as quickly as possible.
Good. I'll come and get you.
Yes. So, Lucian, I never brought this up before, but yes, I guess that makes two of us, huh? Who apparently die and come back to life.
Yeah, different forms of it, but I guess that's true, isn't it?
My way is much more roundabout, that is true. Yes. I'd never brought it up, but when I saw you do it the first time, I found it curious, to say the least. But not necessarily shocking.
Well, it's certainly shocking for me.
Yes.
It was more disintegrating than anything.
At this point, like, you know, you're like probably saying this as like, you know, the chair, like you go to pick it up, but like as you're doing that, like invisible servants just pick the chair up and kind of, you're not used to having people do everything for you, especially people that don't exist. So, you know, sit back down, and the cloches are taken off. revealing something akin to fried chicken legs. However, these are much too big for that to be what it is. They're like... I mean, you can't really... I mean, it's big, all right? It's big.
It's big.
Elrin makes a point of addressing what the meal is. Our next course is fried cockatrice with steamed grimoire squash. I believe in Chanta they refer to it as Jean Cobas.
Is this correct, Michael?
They do, indeed.
Ah, yes, you're correct.
Well, actually, you wouldn't remember.
I wouldn't remember. Never mind. I didn't say that.
He said caca.
I like to
He did.
imagine Lucian's not even looking at Elron. He's just staring off into space, saying this to himself aloud.
I don't remember that.
I killed the birds myself. They're natural to the island, so naturally I was curious as to the taste of them. I find them to be much akin to chicken, which isn't too surprising. However, they do have a taste similar to what you'd find in spring water. I assume these notes are of certain minerals within stone, which, again, is unsurprising. After all, you are what you eat, are you not?
I certainly hope.
About to say, Jordan just stops mowing down on the fucking massive chicken leg for a moment as this is said, just slowly turns back and looks up. Is Jordan going to become chicken from magic?
If you ask the right person, anything is possible.
I can make that happen if that's something you would like.
It is not something I would like, no. Jordan likes being Dion.
You're safe.
Good. Just goes back to eating.
Now, you guys taste the food. Elrin has yet to lead you astray, and this is another instance of his ability to make fine cuisine. It's a very rich flavor, the juiciness of the meat, some sort of spiced breading along the outside of it, even with an almost like a stony taste within the bird's flesh. It's kind of looped into the flavor profile pleasantly. So,
Yeah.
how is it?
Ah, it's delightful.
As always.
Very good. I agree, of course. I would not serve something I had not made for myself first, on principle. While we're on the topic of interesting food choices, what's the oddest thing that any of you have ever eaten?
Is what?
The strangest food that you've...
Oh, oddest. Say, I thought you said honest, and that was just confusing.
Oh, I apologize. I do have a Western accent.
West of what?
The rest of Maryland.
Ah. I'm not from around.
Didn't we just eat some undocumented lizard creatures native to a strange island?
That is somewhat remarkable.
We eat a lot of things when you're stranded.
I suppose so. I am familiar with the idea of eating what is on the table. I will say lizards are not something I tend to incorporate into my cuisine when possible.
Fair enough.
I think I would say that this group believes the strangest thing that I've eaten has been chalk.
Why is that strange?
Isn't that just something that people do for heartburn?
I tried to tell them that it's bicarbonate, but they didn't seem to understand minerals very well.
It's
Minerals.
Awkward moment where alchemist fails as an alchemist.
It's it is certainly not my first choice of what I would do, but it does come in handy in a pinch. Of course, I also do possess transmutative abilities that aid with those sorts of things, but well, it works in a pinch. What about you, Lucian? What's the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
What's like a really obscure sea creature that's kind of gross?
I'll give you a hint. Heinrich brought part of it home.
No, that's just like a squid. People eat squid, like something that people wouldn't.
People do eat squid, especially
Oh,
in
calamari.
Yeah,
I got it,
like-
Lucian. Maybe you did a Gumbolt chitin.
Damn it! I was
What
looking at
the
that.
fuck is that?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hold on, what the hell is that?
Oh, dude, I was thinking something along the lines of like an anglerfish or something, but yeah,
See,
no, that
I'm
wins.
looking. The one I like is an aboleth.
Here you go.
No.
you would not have eaten an aboleth, and if you had eaten an aboleth, you'd probably not have lived.
I mean,
Here
what
we go.
explain the water
In
breathing?
Avarice chat. So it's a
In
type.
what chat?
Oh my god.
It's a type of snail.
Matthew,
Yo!
Escargot.
it looks like an
Really?
orange that had a really bad month.
I once
No,
had
it just
a
looks like
nice
an orange that survived 2020. Barely.
with me gun boot chitin.
Do you want orange from Chernobyl?
That's what it looks like, too. That's great.
Not
Interesting.
commonly.
Here. Here's another
I
image.
am familiar with the creature. I am not familiar with the taste.
Very inappropriate.
Interesting.
Matthew, why are you putting pictures of vaginas in the chat?
If I had
It's
to describe,
it's an animal, I swear.
It's like when people post those photos of pomegranates that are very.
Well, one can argue.
What'd you say, Lucian?
If I had to describe it, it has a bit of a citrusy taste.
What are we
Sure.
talking about?
Perhaps it's in the process. Of course, I have served snails at my table a few times. I believe for you as well.
Yes, you have.
Escargot Renoir, the first time I had you for dinner, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That would be correct.
No, you're whispering.
They're actually like super cool. If anybody wants to know.
For myself, it is a bit hard to choose. I've been all over the Isles, tasted delicacies from Sanpera and Rimor, various traditional cuisines of Marish tribes now grouped into the Empire, Teddy dishes from Renault to Vale. It's hard to nail down a single one meal for me. For a moment, you guys see that there's like something you've never seen him do, and where he just seems to like zone out, like almost pensively.
Like Gwydion? No.
Well, I mean, similarly, I suppose, but everyone kind of does that sometimes.
PTSD is a bitch. Especially when it's past life PTSD.
Got the PTSD of 8 people.
9.
Sure.
Oh yeah, we're slowly making your own too.
9 others
Yes.
so far.
He's
I believe it's been 9 others, right? There's
I
8
counted 8.
Are there 8 schools of magic? Oh, you exist.
I exist.
Yeah, but there's a new school of magic.
No. He like catches himself zoning out slightly. Forgive me. Lost in thought. At this point, like, the third course begins coming out. The third course is a traditional Grimoire cake called Gâteau à Boire, made with an equally traditional Grimoire rum. But I could not resist using dried vanilla that I grew myself back in Tortan. The cake itself is rich, sweet, adequately moist, altogether as brilliant as any dish that you've come to expect about it. Learning of Lucian's continuing brushes with death, I presumed some meals from his childhood would bring some comfort. And what better to do so than with sweets? Lucian, you do not remember ever having eaten this.
Oh no.
Meals from my childhood, you said?
Oh no.
But you said you are from Grimoire, yes?
Yes, I was. I don't remember very much of it.
My apologies. Still, in my experience, few things are as genuinely therapeutic than cake.
No, I can agree with that, at least.
You guys take some time to enjoy the cake a bit. Again, like, Elrin just seems to savor every bite he's ever taken. He loves food. For a brief moment, he pauses, about halfway through the cake. I have received an invitation from the Doge to attend a gala he is throwing in a few days to celebrate his son's birthday. The invitation is extended to a modest amount of guests. Would you all care to accompany me? I believe it will help spare me from the aristocracy to a degree, and surely would be a boon to your reputation within the city.
Well, you can certainly count me in.
Sounds like a good time.
He continues
Excuse me,
kind
Elrond, where's the bathroom?
Oh, yes, it is through that door, down the hall, turn the second left.
Leora rushes to the bathroom.
Okay. Well, if you all do intend on being my plus ones, I suppose, I'll arrange for clothes to be delivered to you. I need not know your exact size. Even if they do not fit, I can fix that particular dilemma with a wave of the hand. As for you all, you need only show up. They will not likely expect you to know the finer intricacies of nobility, trust me. Your presence will be a novelty in and of itself.
Well, I think I'm a novelty everywhere I go. That is a good thing, yes.
Dion is dwarf.
It depends.
And you said this is for the Doge's birthday.
The Doge's son. I have his name somewhere. Let me tell you his name. Oh my god, what the fuck?
Do you
It was the
know
Black Diadem.
the son's interest at all? Should we bring a gift?
I don't believe it is one of those sorts of gatherings. Why am I voice? I don't believe it's one of those sorts of gatherings. It's mostly just a gala to celebrate, is all. I suppose he would appreciate anything you offer. Perhaps art or something. Prince Giovanni does not. He doesn't tend to socialize very much.
Right, well, that's a good challenge. I'll have to think on what I could make for him.
I'm sure anything will do.
He totally just starts zoning out, trying to think of what he's gonna make.
Well, Q, we were drawing or painting that artwork, weren't we? The one of the dragon with the golden canvas.
Yes, we could do that. As a gift? Seems... I'm not one to complain about giving away gifts, but that seems quite extravagant for an individual we've never met before.
That's true. Maybe we'll make a smaller metal painting.
You know what you could give as gift? Greatest gift of all time. To be treasured forever.
Yes.
Aw.
Great tale of adventure.
Unfortunately, Giovanni is not so much an adventuring sort. But he does have he appreciates the arts.
We could write a book.
In a few days.
A short one. For fuck's sake.
The hell?
There's another party in the other room.
I guess.
It's empty.
You'll
Oh,
have
man.
to ignore my torture chamber. It's a bit louder than usual.
Well, at least it's empty.
It is now.
Awkward.
No.
It's been some time since I've worn fancier clothing.
As I said, you need not worry about it. I will have something tailor-made for you. You are my guests, after all.
And I'm sorry, I've forgotten the details. Where did you say this gala was?
When?
When? Yes.
It's on the 8th. Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3. It's about 4 days.
I don't see why not, right? We haven't had any other pressing matters except certain revelations within our own group.
It would certainly give you something to do. Being friendly with the aristocracy has its benefits. It does keep me wealthy and supplied with a life that matches my tastes. Although, as for you all, I suppose the requisite responsibilities would be a little tedious for your lifestyle.
Well, we certainly can't sail around all the time when we've got nobility to please.
Yes, it is. It can be quite boring, which is mostly why I'm inviting you. Still, if enjoying the finer things in life requires me to be bored from time to time, I say it's well worth the price. Of course, my adventuring days are well and truly over.
Where'd this strange woman go?
She's been in there a while. So I don't think we can check up on her. I don't know if we should do that.
I don't know. How long does it usually take human to take piss?
Well, and Lucian stands up and he's gonna walk over to the bathroom and he's just gonna knock on the door. Sen, you in there?
I
He's gonna
wouldn't,
knock
I
again.
wouldn't be anywhere else.
It took you a while. You doing good? You need some chalk, maybe?
What is this weird fascination with chalk?
I don't need to write anything down, so I believe that I shall be okay, but I appreciate the gesture.
Just. Alright. Just gonna walk away.
So will she
Well,
die in bathroom?
She's in there. I don't know what she's doing in there, but she's in there.
It seemed to me that she was just a bit nervous.
Oh, really? That's weird. Son doesn't normally get nervous at these dinners.
Unless we are allowed to fight dragon, I don't see what there is to be nervous about.
Everyone gets nervous from time to time. She, of course, is free to do whatever she wishes. I do wish she would join me for the gala, though. I mean, at this point, unless you guys want to, like, specifically bring up anything, the dinner can be over.
Are we gonna talk about the magic rock water, or are we just, like, not?
Maybe not.
Either that or going on to a wonderful tale of the strangest thing
I mean, it
Jorn is
depends
eating.
on how much you trust Elrin, right?
Maybe not with this guy at the moment.
This guy.
You know, it's iffy. It's iffy.
It's iffy. Alright.
He could be a vampire.
You've seen him in the sunlight.
I don't think he could.
Strangest things Jorn has eaten in his entire life was toe of giant. Jorn did this in hopes of growing taller. Fun fact, after many a fortnight of eating giant toe, Jorn in fact did get taller. Mother constantly says it was just growth spurt. I don't believe her, I believe it was giant toe. Very earthy, tastes like, well, it tastes like pig rolled in trash. It's not good. Did I just break everything with that? What the fuck? What the fuck?
PTSD's getting to him. What he had to do to get that toe.
That was weird. Okay, how much of that did you guys actually catch?
No,
The very ending you cut out. The fucking the crux of the story.
Yeah, you said after about a fortnight, and then you just stared into nothing.
Yeah, that's because apparently my entire thing reset all at once when I got to that point. Oh, that was weird. Anyway, after many a fortnight of eating giant's toe, miraculous thing happened. Jorn in fact did get taller. Mother swears to God it was growth spurt. I say she full of shit.
Should I feel offended by that?
Are you giant?
I am part giant.
Are you part hill giant?
No.
Then no, you have no right to be offended.
I gesture to my skin. I do not believe so.
Jorn is colorblind.
Oh. No, it's blue.
Yeah,
I don't know what blue is.
Guys telling what color it is.
Okay, they're colorblind. They still know colors exist. Like, oh, this is blue. He's like, okay, I don't know what that looks like, but it's blue.
I mean, literally, you look at Jorn's eyes, and they actually look like they're two separate colors of blue. But it's just because one pupil is completely blown open, the other one's shrunk.
Oh.
Well, that's what eating giant is. Legit.
You know, the toe giant, that is a little odd. But have you ever eaten a full sack of spider ants while it was live? Because that is not fun.
Jorn got lost in cave system once, yes.
You see, I asked.
Yeah, it's nasty. I saw that.
I asked this question earlier, and I got no response. And suddenly, everyone's eating Stranger Things.
I was thinking about it. You know, I don't eat a lot of foods, and I did not know if that considered as food, but I guess it does because I ate it.
You don't eat a lot of food.
I did not grow up in. Actually, no, I did grow up in this environment. Sorry, I forgot my character backstory.
It happens.
Yeah, it does. You know, PTSD. But no, for the longest time, I did not eat conventional food like you all would assume. So you, not buffet. You pick and choose, but you have options, and next thing you know, you're shoving spiders in your mouth.
merry band of misfits we are.
Technically speaking, there is very little culinary difference between a spider of considerable size and most shellfish.
I mean, when it comes down to it, we've got Heinrich, who ate spiders, and then we've got our good friend who eats rats that are purple.
You notice, now that the conversation is kind of steering towards this again, Elrin again starts, zoning out a bit.
PTSD.
I'm gonna lean over to whoever the hell's, next to me. I don't know who the hell that would be. Who the hell wants to sit next to Jordan, I guess. I'm just gonna quietly whisper, does strange men do this all the time?
No, not usually.
That's not really something I do.
The phantom.
Zoning out because he eats people like a vampire does. Guys, get the fucking hint.
John does not know what vampire is. What's a vampire?
Oh my god, Michael has been watching Hannibal. Fuck.
That was years ago.
Good evening, Clarice.
What's your point?
You always talk about Hannibal, though, Michael.
It is a really good show.
That's why I refuse to watch it.
You good there?
Because it's good?
Lauren?
I'm sorry.
What?
I only like bad things.
That's true.
Oh, so Last of Us Part 2. Got it.
What?
Nothing?
Oh, forgive me. You've never quite seen him at a loss for words.
It's okay. John gets gas too.
I usually don't zone out quite so much. My apologies.
Busy week, moving into the new place. Understandable.
Yes. It has been quite a journey to get this place up and running. I do enjoy what I've done with it.
You may consider additional protections for your mind if you're dealing with a powerful psionic and suddenly find yourself spacing out and not being present.
I am afraid that it is the zoning out that has led to my interest in psionics. I myself am not gifted, but I was looking for ways to prevent certain memories from arising.
Ah.
Oh.
I see. So he ate people, but he doesn't remember it.
I mean, do you remember every piece of food you've ever eaten?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Most of the time I write down the recipe as I'm cooking it.
Well, all of the food except for the one that is a repressed memory.
Wait. I write down the recipe as I'm cooking it.
Yeah.
Recipe is the name of the victim.
One experimentation is the key to learning how to cook proper dishes, in my opinion.
I think he eats people.
Why is everyone on this so hard?
We have to find something to pile onto. We always do this. Specifically with Elrond.
And no one is asking any questions, so I can't even talk about what I have this whole...
Leor's having a moment. Sen's having a moment.
That's probably true.
Elrond, is there a memory of a food that you found so horribly gone wrong that you've chosen to erase its memory from your existence?
I assure you, I have never cooked anything that I have never cooked anything that tasted bad.
Well, perhaps you ate it raw.
The fuck?
No, not only would that be extraordinarily dangerous, but also unnecessary. I am trained in various ways to create fire.
You eat apples raw, don't you?
Have you not eaten a baked apple?
Have you not eaten a raw apple?
I've eaten raw apples, yes.
There you go.
What the fuck is this conversation suddenly?
Forgive me. It's not something well suited to speak of at dinner, but back in my adventuring days, I was traveling with my friends out in the high mountains of Sinpera, where snow falls the year over. We had taken shelter from a snowstorm in a cave when an avalanche closed us in. I was able to use my match to start a fire and prevent freezing to death for the most part, but sons of bitches. Even I didn't know all the snow. So we were. I hate all of you.
I'm not doing anything.
I can feel you watching me read. So
We're always watching you.
Yeah, I know. So we were forced to wait until the temperature dropped enough to prevent freezing as I melted it. The avalanche itself killed our healer, Frederick, and wounded another of us. In the end, we were up there in the cold for weeks without any food or medicine. We'll leave it at this. I was the only one who survived.
I'm sorry, Elrin.
It's quite alright. It's been well over 100 years now. No more than a memory. I've many more to drown the one out, and with any luck, many more will come.
Drown? Who's he drowning?
The bodies.
A memory, but a memory you would wish to be rid of nonetheless. That is correct.
I did some research for the last, for a few decades after. It's why I dabble in psionics, but recently I've learned just to live with it best I can.
Hey Gwydion, didn't we get a scroll that changes people's memories from that teacher?
I was going to bring that up. I do have it on me still. The last one. I'm not quite sure how potent it would be. It is of the lowest possible iteration of the spell. I think it only affects things that happened within the last 10 minutes. For 24 hours.
But Elrin's a wizard, though. He could learn the spell, right, Elrin? I guess I don't know anything about magic.
That is typically how wizards work.
Yes, you could. I don't know if you can erase days of time, but
Why not simply just accept fact that you fell out of favor with the Snow Maiden, therefore your friends were sent to the ferryman instead? I just feel like everyone just slowly turns and looks at me at that. I'm just sitting there blinking at everybody as I'm still gnawing on a bone from a chicken leg. What?
I suppose that is generally what I have attempted to do, yes?
If anything, this is a lesson as why your quartermaster is so important. Their job is to keep everyone happy and fed and have the tools for the job.
Oh man. Like, this would... at this point, I believe it would take literal years, like months at a time, to properly erase the memories themselves.
While this is happening, Gordian just like reaches into his backpack and slides out the last modified memory scroll. I think you make better use of this than I will.
I suppose so. Thank you.
Yes, hopefully it pays off well since, you helped me figure things out, and I'll try and help you with all this. It's not really my expertise, though.
Fool, you fell straight into my trap. Now I can use my Modify Memory Innator to control the entire tri-state area.
Hey, fuck off. That's mine. Go on. Get. No. No.
God damn it.
Fuck off. Go on.
The fucking cat.
I would be remiss if I just took this without doing something in return.
Well, I mean, I
What-
am hoping that you can help with the curse thing.
Perhaps, but that's more out of genuine curiosity. How many sigils have you been able to weave into your spells? What level spell?
4.
4.
4, but the staff lets me cast 1 with 5, but that uses power from the staff and not from me.
Right. Interesting.
That's cool. Can I see your staff?
Hold on.
Then allow me to. And at this point, he snaps his fingers, and suddenly just appears this massive tome like before him. Allow me to trade with you, as it were.
All right. Okay.
It takes some time, but he teaches you the polymorph spell.
Oh.
Ooh.
Did you show me a picture of a T-Rex?
He does not show you a picture of a T-Rex.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he has yet to see one of these creatures himself. But you've seen all sorts of shit, so...
I wonder what Sierra Fulgertail is.
those are...
It is not a beast.
Yeah, those are monstrosities, friend.
I'll keep that in the repertoire for a rainy day. As it stands, I've got so many spells already.
A spell for a spell. I figured it was only fair.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Could have some fun with this, as it were.
As I said, it will take many weeks before I'm... probably about a year from doing my math right. But this scroll will be of much use to me. I suppose I will see you tomorrow. But I'm afraid I'm feeling a bit tired suddenly.
Me as well.
I will have to send you home. If you wouldn't mind following me.
Yes, we had agreed to meet. Did you say tomorrow or for another time?
Yes, tomorrow would work for me just fine. We can probably do this at my other home. It won't. I'll just stay the night there. It wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Very well.
Especially considering my ability to teleport from place to place. As
Yes.
limited as it is.
Something I look forward to being able to do.
Perhaps one day I will teach you.
Oh, it saved me time and money.
I suppose. At this point, like, he, like, takes you, like, around, like, from the dining hall, like, down the hall, and, like, first door to the right, I think it was. I might be fucking this up. I actually, like, just drew this guy's house. Doesn't really matter. You end up in, like, this room It's about like 30 feet long and like about 20 feet long, about 10 feet wide. And he like walks over to like the end of the room, and you see like from just like a pouch on his side, like he like lifts up his hands and starts weaving this like what looks to be like, just based on the light and how it like refracts and reflects off of the individual pieces of it, these like at least 3 different types of gem dust, and starts like etching itself like in the wall before suddenly, just with a snap of his fingers, the entire thing starts to glow with almost like an ember-like light that just erupts into flame and leaves behind like this doorway. I recommend being fast, and he like immediately walks through.
Oh. Woody goes fast.
Fast. You won't manage to go through, but like Heinrich, who's like kind of traveling behind, suddenly just gets a, like you can. You're almost worried, like as he's coming to, like you see this flame reconstructing the stone around before he like goes through, and the entire thing closes up into what looks to be a more like permanent, like etched into the wall itself, like inlaid gem dust within this room that you have not seen in Elrin's home. Welcome back to Tortana. I will show you out. He takes you like down the hall and like opens up this door, and you recognize the room that you find yourself in. You guys are on a second floor, a spiral staircase down into like the lounge library type area that you had first met Elrin in. He takes you through the hallway, past all of the paintings that you guys have, seen there. Lucian just kind of like looks at the one, just like keeps an eye on it, but nothing much happens. Before you get into that antechamber, with that familiar quill and pad of paper just kind of floating, waiting for somebody to enter the room, and the door opens, and he shows you out.
Thank you.
It is my pleasure. There are very few things I enjoy more than having a friend for dinner.
God damn
You're
it.
not clever.
Then Elrond just got this faraway, distant look in his eye yet again, staring off into the horizon. As the PTSD set in, you can still taste his buddy Conrad on his lips.
Doesn't awaken anything in me. Well, see you tomorrow at what time?
Oh, I suppose that is important. Let's say 1.
Oh, very well. So long.
Good night. He, shows you guys out and like locks the door behind you. Do you guys have a chance to talk as you're walking your way back to the guild hall?
Or we take a break and then talk.
Is it that time?
No! Fuck!
It is.
You're right. You're right. It's 8:30.
And then when we return, John can recall and go ahead and retell entire story of where he got Toes of Giant. Next time.
It's the foot.
Yes. But you don't have to fight
Well,
for
if
foot.
Lucian ever dies again, we'll see if... well... Okay, when Lucian dies next, if Jorn is still around, we can, eat his toes and see what happens.
And with that, guys, as usual, I'm going to go ahead and cut this part here. that said, this caught your interest and you want to see more, that's as easy as just staying tuned, as, actually, yeah, by this time, part 2 should already be up and waiting for you, so hey, tune in for that. And of course, this has, you know, your interest, kind of see where it started, have an entire playlist over on YouTube of session 1 all the way till now. Or just chill out and wait till next week, man. Our first actual adventure was over 2 years, so I'm pretty sure we're going to have a lot more than just 29 sessions. Anyway, once again, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in however long it takes for you to hit part 2.